you know? Some say families like juice, one slip and it's pulp. She figured her wife would take the kid to school next morning. Chris arrived early outside the kindergarten, no longer hoping to win her wife back, just hoping she'd keep the son. This led to a heated argument. Did you leave? Yep, I left. Then get out of here and stop hogging my space. Chris yelled, you dragged us down. Did you hear that? You're so weak. No, I'm not happy anymore, just miserable, so don't get any ideas about smiling. Chris is next to me. Do you hear what I'm saying? That night, Chris picked the kid up early and fumbled around making dinner, trying to create a cozy vibe, but her moves looked like an onion trying to dance awkward yet full of love. Just then, the phone rang. Chris thought it was her wife, but nope. It was her boss saying she had an interview bride, and early they'd tell her to note the assistant's number for interview details like a secret code. Chris saw a glimmer of hope in her gloomy life if only she could find a pen. Instead, she pretended her hand was a pencil. Silently, she memorized the crucial numbers, and after hanging up, she kept chanting them like a mantra. She dashed to the supermarket, recalling the number with her excellent memory. She thought she'd snagged a rare opportunity, but as soon as she got back to her apartment, the landlord knocked like a drum. Because she was 3 months behind on rent, the landlord's attitude was explosive, ordering them to move out by tomorrow. Chris, for a safe place for his kid, begged the landlord for more time. She said she could do the painting, and the landlord thought, wow, she'll save me money. The landlord agreed to give her a week to pack, and the next day after dropping the kid off at school, she started painting the walls at home, and guess what? Bad luck struck. Cops knocked on the door, because she had been dodging parking tickets left and right. Alas, it was payback time, and the cops demanded she cough up all the fines at once. Reluctantly, Chris wrote out a check, but after doing so, the cops said she had to wait for the bank to verify it, which meant she had to spend the night in jail, not ideal since she had that all-important interview at 10 a.m. And who would look after the kid after school? Chris racked her brain. Finally, he called his wife, asking her to babysit overnight. Though her view of him had worsened, she couldn't refuse. As night fell and a new day dawned, Chris finally dealt with the ticket, but she only had half an hour before the interview. Rushing to change, she ended up in her paint-spattered clothing, sprinting towards the interview location. The supervisor saw her completely covered in paint and was momentarily stunned, thinking to himself, is she really here for the interview or something else so messy? Have you seen Chris? No, but she must be a real stylist. Is this your first interview? Last time I was in school, straight to work after. How many people were in your school? 12 max. Small town problems. But hey, I once took a flight. 20 on the plane, and being real with you. If you ask me a question, and I don't know the answer, I'll just admit it. But I do know how to search for answers, Chris. If someone shows up to an interview naked, I'd say they should dress nicely. In the end, thanks to her diligent attitude, Chris landed that internship, yet she was now competing against 19 elite graduates from fancy schools. For 6 months without receiving any salary to get through this period, she had to successfully sell 6 scanners. If she fails to do it, her family's finances will surely go completely belly up. This whole ordeal was the test of her skills and, honestly, her willpower. Seeing her wife drop off their kid, all her pain somehow transformed into motivation to keep going. She raced towards saving her crumbling family, but her wife had made up her mind to head to NYC for work. With rent being sky high, Chris had no choice but to move with their son into a budget motel. The digs were basic, but the father-son bond meant everything, and that was a unique kind of warmth. Saturday came with sunshine, and Chris dutifully took the kid to the court. Little Chris was totally hooked on basketball, his eyes sparkling with dreams. His dream becoming a pro bowler but Chris inadvertently doused the enthusiasm. Like father, like son, Chris said flatly. So, you probably won't be great either. A statement was like a bucket of cold water that seemed little Chris sparkle. Chris only then realized that her unintentional words had been so deeply hurtful, and she hurriedly tried to make amends. Okay, you've got a point there, and I indeed have lots of areas to improve. Chris' eyes turned red with emotion. Life isn't always dark. Next day, selling scanners, she met a candid doctor.